Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Get right into it. We're doing the love reading for June 2019 for the zodiac sign of Leo. Alright? Lovely fire signs, Leo. Alright, it's going to be for the month of June. What's going on with Leo? Archangels, romance angels. Give us some messages for Leo. Alright, we're going to pull 2 cards for Leo for this period, for June. Give me 2 cards, clear message for Leo. Alright, what do you want them to know about their love life for this period, June 2019? Show me. Show me. Alright. Retreat. And new love. Wow, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. It's time to disconnect from the world, all right? And we got new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. All right, so could be some of you are retreating, you find a new love. It could be some of you have found a new love and then you want to go away. But they're kind of, they can happen at the same time. They can also be at opposite ends. All right, we'll find out what that all means. We're going to get into the reading. At the bottom of the deck, we have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are confronting you. All right. So, oh, the cautioning. The signs are cautioning you. I was reading that as confronting. Signs are cautioning you, right? So, let's pull our Rider-Waite deck for you Leos. Retreat and new love, huh? What's going on for our Leos? For this June love period. Relationships. Those Leos who have love want to keep it. Those who are calling love in. I want to know how to call their loved one in. Those are having obstacles. Maybe some of you are ready to get out of a relationship as well. Alright. All kinds of scenarios. This reading is about love for Leo, June 2019. Alright, show me. Give me a clear reading for those who are tuning into this video so that it resonates with them and they get some insight, some understanding, and it helps them on their way. Show me. Here we go. Alright, Leo. Out the gate, you got the Magician. Wow. 4 of Discs. And 9 of Wands. Sun card, Major Arcana, 10 of Swords. And 5, Hierophant. You got Queen of Wands, King of Cups, and 9 again, the Hermit. So you got a couple of 9s in your reading. Queen of Cups at the bottom. All right, so you've got a couple of court cards. Queen of Cups, open with her emotions. Queen of Cups is kind of just there to love. She's very passive in her love as well, though, right? The cup is there. She's gazing into the cup. She doesn't go forward like the Knight. She doesn't provide the stability of the King. She's kind of just there revealing her own feelings. Again, queens are very indulgent, just like the Empress. The archetypal Empress card, which is the 3 in the Major Arcana. 3s also talk about indulging. The Empress also is a very indulgent card, even though she's a divine feminine. All right, same kind of energy here. And you have 2 9s in your spread. So 9s talks about isolation, being alone, taking a personal journey, right? Doing some shadow work, getting into yourself, deep work, right? But in isolation, talks about work in isolation. Most of the cards in nines talk about your relationship with yourself, right? And how you can get to understand your relationship with yourself, but usually it's through being alone and isolated. We'll get into that. But usually any of the nine cards have a real sense of isolation about them. But you start off the reading with the Magician. So you come in feeling very good. You come in feeling like you can manifest anything, my Leos, right? You are the great manifester in a lot of ways. Being a fiery sign, very confident sign. But yeah, this is what you're coming into. This is the energy you're bringing into this month of June. It may be that you're coming out of a period of everything kind of going your way. You've been really kind of blessed in a way, right? And it's been your own doing, but still it's kind of felt like everything's come to you quite easily. Everything's been manifested quite easily. But you're coming into a period of Four of Pentacles. Fours represent stability, but it can also be being stable for too long, right? Too long being stuck. Four of Discs, that's when money rules the character, right? He no longer spends the money to enjoy what the world has. He just collects money, 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 money. It's the miser card. It's the greedy card. It's my uncle. It's the Scrooge card. I call it the Scrooge card. It's that energy when you're so predominated with getting money that you've forgotten the reason why you get the money, which is actually to enjoy the world and to spend it. So this energy is coming in for you. All right, Leo, could be this is you, right? You probably worked very hard for your money, but now you're feeling quite tight with it, and yet you've been isolated. Nine of Wands, right? So you've been isolated. You're looking around, and it's like, you look back at your wands, and it's like, I'm all on my own. After all of that, Nine of Wands can also talk about looking back at your previous battles, right? He's really tired there, right? Look at him. He has the wound on his head. And he's looking back at his previous battles, his trophies for his battles, which are the wands. And it's like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because here I am on my own, right? I'm still alone. And so, everything you've gone through, but you may still be feeling kind of isolated and alone, right? Nines is also like, you still have further to go before you get to tens, which is completion. But you're going to have to do it on your own. 9 cards always indicate that the rest of this journey is for you to do on your own. Nobody can go with you or take you there, right? And even if you feel like, oh, wow, this is... I've worked for all, you still haven't finished quite your journey. So just checking my camera saying low battery. All right. So, the last little hurdle is done kind of like in isolation, right? It's done on your own and through your own kind of like pushing forward. The Sun card is here for you, Leo. This is your card, the Sun. Strength is actually your card, but the Sun also, very much reminds me of you. I call this a Leo card because it's like the sun is radiant, and shining down. Everyone's happy. Everything's growing. There's reaffirmations everywhere. The Sun also talks about, interestingly enough, the Sun card is the 19, right? So there's a 9 in there as well. And there's also a deeper meaning to the Sun card, which is that sometimes you can be basking in all of this kind of like sunshine and feel-good factor, but yet you're alone. You see the child there is alone. There's no one around to enjoy the sunshine with. So, the flip side to this coin can also be that a lot of times, like when you're feeling... when you're getting your affirmations, you're feeling on top of the world, there can still be a flip side to it that you're still feeling quite lonely. You still haven't connected. Yes, you're getting your affirmation. Yeah, you feel great. But there's still kind of like an emptiness there. right? Because it has a 9, and it's a 9 card ultimately. You have 3 9s. 9 of Wands, the 19, which is Sun, and then down here the Hermit, which we'll get to. So I think this month is really, like, even though this is a love reading, and it says retreat, right? I mean, this is the Romance Angel card, Oracle card, which talks about retreat, right? 9s talk about isolation. You're going to feel quite isolated and, like, to yourself this month. 10, the death of the ego, right? This has been coming after many, many battles, many fights. Many times you said, no, this is going to work for me. This is going to work for me. And finally you succumb. You realize that the old you is no longer going to work for you. And so that's it. He's ruined. He's ruined. He can't, it's done. You couldn't resurrect him if you wanted to. You must now evolve. It's the 10 of Swords. You have to go to the next level and become a new person. It simply won't suffice for you to be the old person. This is also the card of having gone through a lot of battles and learned a lot. Hard knock lessons. This is the hard knock lessons card, after which no one can ever kind of turn back. Those type of lessons that once you learned them in life, you never can be the person you were before you learned them. You can never be that naive again, or that gullible, or that easily led, or whatever it is that you learned. But it's those hard lessons, right? And that person you were before you learned that is absolutely dead. They are dead, or they are integrated. They should ultimately, the highest evolution would be to integrate that ego into the new ego that you become, which hopefully is a more elevated ego, right? So that's what's at the center of it. And I think that that's why you have so much isolation right now. You're very reflective. Even though you're coming out of a period where the Magician is, there are things you feel lonely. And the loneliness is, I believe the loneliness and the kind of like separateness that you feel from people seems to be at odds with everything else around, right? Things are good. Conversations are good. Everybody's laughing. You may be enjoying yourself, but still there's that separation there. You feel like retreating, right? Interestingly enough, with new love, I wonder if there's someone there who sees you and wants to come forward to you. 5, the Hierophant. So 5 talks about stability. Talks about power struggles. 5s are all about power struggles. So here you have the Hierophant, which is the highest authority on earth, the Hierophant. If you believe in the divine, there's nothing higher, right, than the Hierophant. The religious figure here on earth, there's nothing higher. That after that you go up and there's God, right? But on earth as an authority figure. So the Hierophant talks about deep commitment, deep authority, deep commitment to your beliefs, right? It talks about as well, do you have a hold on who you are and what you believe, right? Are you committed to that? Do you understand what it means, right? Do you have dominion over that side of yourself that would want to push that to the side at times to take the easy road? So you're being challenged, I think. I think your belief system is being challenged because you're going through a lot of this kind of like isolation, and you're going through a lot of the self-reflection. And I think the Hierophant comes because it's like you're starting to question your own kind of belief in that authority that you always believed was an authority. Right? It could be as well that the church or a particular cultural way of being is something that you've adhered to so strongly, and now you realize as well it's this adherence that's led to a lot of this, like the 10s here and the 9s. It's led to your isolation. It could be the adherence to this set of beliefs is one of the reasons why you have been isolated and you feel isolated. The Hierophant is covered and above and below with 9 cards. Do you feel isolated by your religious beliefs or your cultural beliefs? Perhaps it's separating you from your loved one. right? Because this is a love reading, right? But this is what comes up. So this is a lot of shadow work. This is a lot of family work. This is a lot of looking at how you've been raised and wondering if it's suiting you, if it's a benefit to you, or if it's time for you to change. Have a revolution of the soul, as it were, right? A lot of important people are coming in for you, though. You have Queen of Wands, very fiery individual, right? Sometimes she's not exactly sure of what her next move will be, but she knows that when she takes it, it will be exact. She'll follow through with it. She's thinking. She's not hasty. She doesn't have the haste of the swords. She's not slow like the discs. She's not wishy-washy like the cups. She's very decisive when she makes her move and when she decides to enact her plans, etc. The Queen of Wands. So she's very exacting, very calculating, very passionate, very intelligent. This could be somebody who you know coming in, a friend, Leo, a mentor who may help you, Queen of Wands, in terms of mentoring you and helping you, and then King of Cups as well. I feel like you have King of Cups here and Queen of Cups. I feel like, could this be your parents? Right? This could be your parents or something like that, a couple that's in your life. Could also be you, right? But I kind of feel like you're not in this yet. You have retreat and new love. I feel like, yes, retreat is right. Retreating from the world and new love is coming in, which means that you're not here yet. King and Queen of Cups is after some time of being together, establishing yourself, this is not that kind of fresh, quick love, right? I feel like this is more a couple that very much exemplifies the love you're looking for. It could be a couple that's come towards you as well. Pay attention to the red flags. Be careful. Sometimes cup energy can sometimes also be very kind of touch and go. It can be very kind of like not necessarily committed, right, per se, even though it's cups and it's love and all that, right? But if you have a couple coming towards you who have King of Cups and Queen of Cups, it's like I want to say, don't let them get you to believe that either of them would ever forsake each other for you. They will always stick together. Remember that. That's a caution. They will always stick together. So whatever the scenario is, whatever way, I feel like these two people are really coming at you, Leo. Could be, again, older people that you're dealing with or something like that. Or it could be like, I feel, it's weird. I feel like a swingers. You know what I mean? I'm picking up swingers. Some of you, I don't want to laugh, but hey, that's what I'm picking up. I feel like maybe some of you Leos, do you have like a swingers couple coming at you and you're like, wow, Remember that. When they come at you, they will always, one might call you and the other might call you and they might tell you all kinds of stuff about not talking to each other. But trust me, at the end of the day, they will always only be loyal to each other and you'll be the one out in the cold. And it could be that is something you need to watch out for, because pay attention to the red flags. Right now, you're in a retreat mode. Right? It could be, maybe this is what's been happening in your love. You might have been having like some really odd kind of love scenarios and you've been isolated. You feel like, oh, you're realizing this is not for me. None of this is for me. This is not who I am, and you're getting into your hierophants. You're really reviewing, well, yeah, is this, do my belief systems even, why am I even doing this, Do I have control over myself? 5 being a power struggle. Do I have dominion over my life? Am I committed to my beliefs? These people you are testing. And Queen of Wands, I feel like somebody who may be on the outside who's kind of wanting to warn you. Right? And then you have the Hermit. And after all of this, it's like you're just like, fuck off. I want to leave. You just want to go away, Leo. And this is what I've said before. A lot of people feel like, Leos are always in the sun. I have a moon in Leo. Leos very much want to sometimes just go away and recharge their batteries. Review what's been going on, because Leos are very passionate and loving and caring people, and they can be taken for that sometimes, right? Even though they're a fire sign, right, they can be taken for that, and they can be hurt, right? I mean, the story of Wizard of Oz, right? The lion was the cowardly lion. He was like the most like, right? He was so sweet, but he was so sad and pathetic. He's scared. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He didn't want anybody to hurt him. He was just really a big softie. So there is that about Leos. And when they're hurt or when they're in really odd situations, because a lot of times they attract that because of their magnetism and their fire. They attract people who just want to kind of like be, kind of look at them, be around them, and investigate them. It's like and they want some of that Leo energy as well, right? And then you can get caught up in some really wacky situations, and ultimately you're the one who's kind of left feeling alone, right? Having to go through it alone, feeling like, wow, this is actually more work than I imagined. You're definitely coming out of this recent period realizing who you are and who you are not. Right? You're changing, you're evolving up. You've definitely, if somebody were to meet you now, I think during this month of June, who knew you maybe years ago, they would be like, man, you changed a lot. They would probably say something like that, like, wow, you've changed a lot. Meaning perhaps physically and just how you are, how you communicate, your spirit, your energy that you're coming forward with. Let's get a clarity on this reading. Thoth deck, show me for our Leos. Very specific, right? 3 9s. Interesting. 5s are power struggles. A lot of times that can also be in sexual situations, right? Because the other 5 is the devil, right? So here we have the Hierophant, but the other 5 card, 15, the other card that has 5 in it is the devil. And that's being a slave to things that we originally just found enjoyable, and now we're a slave to it. Here in 5, in the Hierophant, the power struggle begins in terms of who is directing your moral center, your moral compass. If you're caught up in some situations that don't align with your moral compass, then you're going to have to, address that. Maybe retreat, as it says, and go back into yourself, do some soul searching. Give some clarity on Leo. I smell like, a polyamorous relationship here all over the place. That's what I smell. And I smell like what I'm feeling is like things just went sideways, as they generally do a lot of times with people who are not, everyone has to be mature, not just one party in those situations and when everybody's not mature. But that's what I feel like, since this is a love reading. That's the energy and the message that's coming to me. Listen to this Queen of Wands person. They're a friend of yours. All right, and go away. Somebody's trying to put you in between this cup and this couple. The King and Queen of Cups. It's like somebody's trying to insert you between them. You're on your own. You're playing the hermit. You're like, well, no, I'm on my own. But it's almost like somebody's instigated you into this couple's dynamic. And all you want to do is go away. Show me some clarity on this, please. Show me for Leo. For June love, 2019. Show me. So interesting. It feels so specific to me. And then, like, the more I start to feel the message coming through, sometimes the more specifics come in. But I feel like this is definitely what somebody's going through, right? Interference, 9 of Swords. Ace of Swords, 4 of Swords, 4 of Discs, 14. A lot of 4s. You're looking for stability. And 2. You're looking for stability out of all of this, right? This is all throwing you completely out of whack. 7 of Cups at the bottom. Debauchery. Of course it's debauchery. Excuse me. That's, of course, it. Too much. Too much of a good thing. It's just turned bad and rotten. A lot of swords. A lot of fours, 2 4s and 14, which is the temperance card for Sagittarius. Talking about stability, right, in your life. Fours are all the natural order of things, moving toward the natural order of things, finding balance, right? Up here you got it, interference. There's been a lot of interference. You've had a lot of people putting their 2 cents in, a lot of people putting their belief systems on you, telling you what you should think, what you should do. Let me make sure these cards are being, what you should think, what you should do, how you should feel, yada, 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been like, it's been a lot of interference, and that's where you're coming out of, right? You felt like things were doing really well on a Magician, right? But there's definitely been interference, and now it could be that you were in a situation where people really bigged you up. You felt like you were doing quite well. You thought you could handle it all. Your finances have been affected. 4 of Discs, certainly you want to feel like you need to hold on to what you have. It could be that you've been spending too much money. It could be that you've been the chase for money. It could be what got you in this situation in the first place with these people. May not even be a sexual relationship, just could be a business partnership, or just dealing with a certain crowd or whatever, a certain social scene. But it can be that your addiction for money and for making money, or for having a certain status in life without actually enjoying life, just attaining, could be what puts you in that situation in the first place, to be around these kind of energies. Because now, of course, 9 of Wands, you're feeling quite battered. And like the rest of the journey you're doing on your own, right? You have to keep pushing forward, but whereas before you might have thought there was somebody there. Ace of Swords. So you definitely going to have a conversation coming in with someone who's going to, or a message of some sort, a significant message or conversation. It's going to give you a little bit of vindication. It's going to give you a little bit of victory and possibly an opportunity to go forward with a different narrative to change things. You do have the Sun here, which is talking about affirmations and reaffirmations of positive things and a truce, right? You're calling a truce. Whatever's been going on as well, where you felt like, okay, I just can't, you're done, right? 10 of Swords is ruined. You're done. You're not that person anymore. You don't even want to be that person anymore. Now you've called a truce with it all. And I see the truth over the Sun. Remember the Sun card I said earlier also has a hint of isolation in it too. It's like feeling alone when the whole world has their eyes on you. A lot of actresses talk about that kind of feeling, yes, everyone's watching you. Yes, you're the center of attention, but you can still feel very lonely. And I feel like this truth for stability, I feel like you just have come to a point where you just want the stability of it all. You're ready to reevaluate yourself. You're ready to reevaluate yourself, and I think that maybe you're ready to, not ready to do anything really. I think you're just in the moment right now. You're just kind of in the throes of reevaluation, calling a truce almost with yourself. Like, okay, Leo, you've been really going, coyote ugly for a while, but you still feel lonely. You're still on your own. You're still not stable where you want to be. Why don't we slow down and think about this? 4 of Swords is a truce. It's also finding stability. Coming up with stable solutions. Again, 4 here, 4 of Discs is stability in your finances as well. Right? And a lot of this giving up of this old ego, I feel like it's bringing stability to your life. It's starting to bring stability to your thoughts, stability to your finances. 4 of Discs here, 4 of Discs there. Here there's the miser aspect. Here I feel like it's exalted and it's more of a stable aspect. You're going back to your roots, right? With the Hierophant. Are you, what are you committed to your ideals? Do they need changing? You felt quite, I think, put out. I think you felt quite like abandoned in a lot of ways, It's just been a lot of battles with you, Could be that you've been having to defend your belief system, and that's where the battles have come from. And you're starting to feel now like you realize, maybe I don't need to fight those battles. I need to be a different person. Maybe I don't need to struggle like that, and just understand that these are my beliefs and those are their beliefs. Right? But this is definitely a power struggle. All right, and down here we have, again, another 4. So there's definitely stability coming in, Leo. Where before there wasn't stability, there was, you know, a lot of isolation, perhaps some loneliness, some angst, some feeling like, you know, where do I go? Who do I have on my side? You're coming to a place, I think, now where you're definitely going to be feeling more kind of supported and stable. And as a result of your own actions, you know, as a result of you doing your own shadow work. And here we go. 14 over this Queen of Wands. Could be that this person, you know, has real fire energy, right? 14 is art, temperance. It's the Sagittarius card. It's fire card. But this is this friend that I'm talking about, this mentor, this loved one, someone who will come in and help you with all of this. If you, they will teach you to temper yourself and show you the way to temper yourself. 14, again, is stability, order in yourself, control of yourself, maintaining control. You know, you have a predominance of 4s on top of a spread underneath that was a predominance of 9s. 4 is stability and 9s is isolation, broadly speaking. So you're definitely coming out of a period of isolation into a period of stability through the help of your friends. And there's change here. I feel like whoever, this weird relationship here, I feel like this is an outside relationship that's odd and hasn't been conducive for you. It's brought out the need for you to get into your hermit. And I feel like you're going to change. You're going to change this whole dynamic because you have 2 of discs here. All right, so everything's going to change between you and this couple as a result of the shadow work you've done, the hermit work that you've done. You're going to institute some change here, I think. Whatever it is that's not working for you on a really real level, on a tangible level, it's going to change. It could be whatever. You may have an arrangement or something that hasn't been working for you that needs to change or whatever. A working relationship, a romantic relationship, a polyamorous relationship, whatever it is, but somehow or way you're caught between these 2. Having done this soul work and gone into yourself, you realize you're going to make a real physical change so you can go forward. All right, my lovely Leos, what a reading. What a reading. Very interesting for love. If this resonated, check it out, subscribe, comment. If you want a private reading, there should be a button right there, and there's to take you to my private reading schedule where you can easily book a reading, or you can go to my homepage or about page, which also has the link, and the link in the description is there as well. I'll take you to my scheduling page where you can very easily just schedule your reading, and we can conduct that the way you feel most comfortable, Skype or streaming, etc., etc. But wow, what a reading for you guys, huh, Leo? Anyway, for now, retreat and new love. Time to go away. Definitely time to go away. Come back with a new love and some stability. I love you, my Leos. Mwah. All right. Have a lovely, lovely June. Bye-bye.